George Soros is not stupid. He said that if the EU continues in this undiplomatic way with the accusations that we talked about from the various German politicians and the EU Commission and so on, well, they will actually probably win with an even larger majority the next time. But of course, George Soros is not a friend of Italy. He's a friend of the Democratic Party in Italy. And in fact, he has used this, let's say, this possibility for him to talk to the Italian audience to immediately accuse this new government of basically not being suitable for Italy.
All right, my guest is Leo Zagami, leozagami.com. Now, Leo, obviously there is a lot of big developments happening in Italy right now, and you know, you've been reporting on this, you've been seeing this coming for a while, and we've always wondered, will the populist momentum, will the nationalist momentum come to fruition? You've had all these hurdles in front of you to leap, but George Soros, being one of those hurdles, is now starting to panic. And it looks like the reality is setting into him that Italy wants out of the EU. And so now they're kind of debating a new tactic here, it seems like to me, Leo, where maybe they kind of do a thing where they let Italy think it's getting out of the EU, but just keep it in kind of like a Brexit deal in order to keep the populists at bay. But you're the expert from leozagami.com. Leo Zagami, what is the story today? What is the latest on the populist uprising in Italy?
Well, hello, Owen, and hello to our viewers and listeners. I would say that the main thing is the visit of George Soros in Italy, which I found profoundly disturbing, as also this visit has been made on money given by the taxpayers, because he participated to the economic festival in Trento, which has taken money financed by the state. It's a very left-wing kind, of course, of organization involved with this whole thing. But George Soros took advantage of his speech on the 2nd of June, given to a packed audience inside the place. But the actual screen where it was projected outside for the festival, I have even a picture of it, was completely empty. Because, of course, all the people who wanted to see Soros wanted to be there without being seen themselves. And he said some very heavy things, some very heavy accusations, especially against Donald J. Trump. He said that Trump is basically a threat to the economy. He doesn't understand the basic elements of economy. How is possible he makes these statements when he was a supporter of Obama, who made a disaster of U.S. economy? And at the same time, he attacked the new coalition in Italy, defining them, of course, with as a threat, but also focusing on Matteo Salvini, accusing him of possibly having taken money from Russia. Now, from the inside, because as you know, I have also been involved in politics here in Italy, I know that for sure Matteo Salvini and the Northern League didn't take any money from Russia, because Russia simply didn't give them any money. They gave them the possibility of a collaboration, of course. They are in very good terms. And in fact, Matteo Salvini, who is the new Minister of Interior, who has promised in the last few days that he will deport 500,000 immigrants from Italy, creating, of course, chaos in the EU. And George Soros had to intervene directly. He arrived there at the festival and said, before he arriving at the festival, in an article for the Corriere della Sera, warned Italy of being in this position, and also warned the EU of having given Italy the possibility with their actions of electing the Northern League the Five-Star Movement. Basically, George Soros is not stupid. He said that if the EU continues in this undiplomatic way with the accusations that we talked about from the various German politicians and the EU Commission and so on, well, they will actually probably win with an even larger majority the next time. But of course, George Soros is not a friend of Italy. He's a friend of the Democratic Party in Italy. And in fact, he has used this, let's say, this possibility for him to talk to the Italian audience to immediately accuse this new government of basically not being suitable for Italy. But Salvini immediately replied, saying he never took any liras, any rubles, any euros from Russia.
So they're using the same tactic there with the whole Russia angle to try to stop this nationalist movement. But again, you see some of the reservation on George Soros, where he realizes now that this movement is real and it's enough to probably get Italy out of the EU, if by way of vote, if it came to that. So it sounds to me like he's kind of trying to pander to this to have a false sense of security that, oh yeah, Italy, maybe you can get out of the EU. Just like the Brexit vote, like, yeah, we'll give you your vote. You're still in the EU. You voted to be out of it, but you're still in it, and we gave you the vote. So, you know, quit complaining. And so maybe they do something like that. But overall, I mean, it's just amazing that George Soros will go in front of Italy and say that Trump is a threat to the economy when he's the damn threat. He knows he's the threat. He's the one that bet on the EU. If Italy has a sovereign nation, he's the one that loses.
There's another important news that I got in the last few hours. There was a strong criticism of Soros' presence with taxpayers' money in that region from the Italian association, the Israel-Italian Association. Alessandro Bertoldi, who is the official spokesman for the Israel-Italian Association, basically confirmed what Alex Jones and you have always said, that Soros is a Nazi. The Israeli associations in Italy say that he's a dangerous guy. He's already been kicked out of Austria. He's been kicked out of Hungary a couple of days ago. He closed down also his office.
Yeah, his home country doesn't even want him.
Sorry?
His home country doesn't even want him.
Well, his own country doesn't want him, but he moved to Berlin to be close to Angela Merkel. So, you know, they can be...
yes, and Jean-Claude Juncker, the Nazis come back together.
Absolutely. I mean, the open society moving the headquarters in Europe to Berlin is very ominous of a Nazi takeover. And the crazy thing is this parliament is just coming together in the next couple of days, this new government in Italy. But of course, we had the worst attacks on it already from the Democratic Party in Italy, accusing them of being fascist and so on. But Matteo Salvini went down to Sicily and said very, very clearly, Sicily can't become the refugee camp of Europe. I mean, come on, guys, you can't make Sicily the refugee camp of Europe. It's completely impossible to tolerate for Sicilians. And I think that everybody knows that Sicilians can get very dangerous at times. So I think that George Soros should really leave Italy. Matteo Salvini in the last few hours also added fuel to the fire, as you say. And he said that soon George Soros will not make, maybe he will not be welcome anymore in Italy. It will not be possible for Soros to come in Italy again, because he will, of course, have argued with one of the most of the key figures, the Interior Ministry, who is also the head of the police in Italy, by the way. So to have an argument with the head of what is the driving force of Italian society at this moment, keeping the security in Italy, I mean, is not a good idea. Any case, the fact that they want to connect Salvini with Putin is typical, like they did with Trump and Russia. So the techniques are exactly the same. It's just like something we have seen over and over again. The liberals going crazy. The media in Italy can't just take and let them work, can take the situation, and they seem to be panicking, all of them. So I think it's a very interesting situation. And like you said, maybe they will give Italy the illusion of getting rid of Europe. But like Nigel Farage said recently, this is only the beginning of Italy's rebellion. I mean, Italy's nationalism runs very deep, as well, of course, as their fascist roots. We don't want to go back to fascism. Of course, we are totally against what Mussolini did with the racial laws. But I tell you, Italy is not a country that will continue being treated this way by the European Union. Especially now in the next few days, they will have a meeting in Brussels. regarding the immigrant situation. And Matteo Salvini said he's not going to participate, also because, apart from the fact he has to be in Italy.
Hold your thought right there, because we got to go to break here. So we'll pick it back up there on the other side of this break. But I think it's good news because, to me, it shows that Soros is weakening, and he knows he's weakening. And so he's kind of like, all right, I gotta back off in Italy here, or this could be a death blow to my Nazi EU headquartered in Berlin regime. I mean, this is with Jean-Claude Juncker in charge.
You know, someone very profoundly once said...